In a land where rolling hills and lush forests stretched as far as the eye could see, there was a magical kingdom called Gracia. This kingdom was renowned for its compassion and generosity. The people of Gracia were known for their kindness, and they lived in harmony, guided by the principles of empathy and understanding. At the heart of this benevolent land stood a magnificent castle made of white stone and adorned with delicate vines of blooming flowers. This was where King Clement and Queen Amara ruled with wisdom and compassion. Their greatest treasure was their daughter, Princess Mary, known far and wide as the Princess of Mercy. Princess Mary had a special gift. From the day she was born, she had a unique ability to heal and comfort those in need. Her touch could ease pain, and her words could soothe troubled hearts. Mary had golden hair that shimmered like the sun, and her eyes sparkled with warmth and kindness. Her presence brought peace and solace to all who met her. One day, as Mary was walking through the village near the castle, she noticed something troubling. The usually vibrant community was filled with sorrow and despair. People were arguing, and a sense of unease hung in the air. Mary's heart ached at the sight. She gently touched a weeping child and asked, "Dear child, what troubles you?" The child sobbed and whispered, "Princess Mary, a dark sorceress named Maligna has cast a spell upon us. She feeds on our suffering and wishes to see our kingdom torn apart by misery and discord." Mary knew she had to act quickly to save her kingdom. She decided to seek out Maligna and ask her to lift the spell. With a brave heart, she set off on her journey, accompanied by her loyal friend, a fierce wolf named Fang. They traveled through dense forests, crossed bubbling brooks, and climbed steep hills. Along the way, they encountered many challenges. Bandits attacked them, but Fang's sharp teeth and Mary's courage drove them away. They had to cross a raging river, and Mary used her wisdom to build a raft that carried them safely to the other side. Finally, they reached Maligna's dark and twisted lair, hidden in the depths of a shadowy forest. The entrance was guarded by fearsome creatures, but Mary was undeterred. With Fang by her side, she approached the heavy iron door. It creaked open, revealing Maligna, her eyes cold and filled with malice. "Why have you come here, princess?" she sneered. "Do you not fear my power?" Mary took a deep breath and replied, "Sorceress Maligna, I come not to fight, but to seek your help. The people in my kingdom are suffering because of your spell. Please, lift the curse and let our land be filled with peace and joy once more." Maligna laughed, a sound that echoed through the dark hall. "Why should I help you?" she asked, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Because," Mary said gently, "mercy and kindness bring healing and harmony to the world. There is more power in compassion than in causing pain." Maligna pondered her words, but her face hardened. "Enough talk!" she snapped, summoning a whirlwind of dark magic. Mary stood her ground as the dark magic swirled around her, threatening to overwhelm her. Fang growled and prepared to defend her, but Mary held up her hand. "No, Fang," she said softly. "This is my battle." With a surge of determination, Mary reached deep within herself and called upon her gift of mercy. A radiant light emanated from her heart, pushing back the darkness. "Maligna, you do not have to live in shadows and bitterness," she cried out. "Let go of your anger and embrace the light of compassion." The light grew brighter, and Maligna's dark magic began to dissipate. The sorceress screamed in frustration, but as the light enveloped her, her expression softened. Tears filled her eyes as she felt the warmth and love that Mary projected. "Very well," Maligna said, her voice trembling. "I will lift the spell, but on one condition. You must promise to visit me once a year and share the mercy and stories of your kingdom with me." Mary smiled warmly. "I promise, Maligna." With a wave of her hand, Maligna lifted the dark spell from the kingdom. Instantly, the atmosphere in Gracia began to lighten, and the people's hearts filled with joy and peace once more. Mary returned to her kingdom a hero. The people of Gracia rejoiced, and harmony was restored throughout the land. True to her word, Mary visited Maligna every year, bringing mercy and stories to her once dark lair. Over time, Maligna's heart softened, and she became a friend to the kingdom. And so, the Princess of Mercy brought not only healing to her land, but also taught everyone that even in the darkest of times, a little compassion and understanding can bring light and peace. And they all lived happily ever after. In a land where mountains kissed the sky and rivers ran clear and pure, there was a magical kingdom called Veritas. This kingdom was renowned for its commitment to truth and honesty. The people of Veritas were known for their integrity, and they lived in harmony, guided by the principles of justice and transparency. At the heart of this noble land stood a majestic castle made of marble and gold, glowing with an inner light. This was where King Eustace and Queen Honorata ruled with wisdom and fairness. Their greatest treasure was their daughter, Princess Verity, known far and wide as the Princess of Truth. Princess Verity had a special gift. From the day she was born, she had a unique ability to sense the truth in any situation. Her eyes, a deep sapphire blue, could see through lies and deception, and her voice could calm even the most troubled hearts. Verity had hair the color of midnight, and her presence brought peace and clarity to all who met her. One day, as Verity was walking through the castle gardens, she noticed something troubling. The once clear waters of the kingdom's river were beginning to turn murky, and the usually vibrant plants were wilting. Verity's heart ached at the sight. She gently touched a wilting flower and asked, "Dear flower, what troubles you?" The flower sighed and whispered, "Princess Verity, a dark sorcerer named Mendax has cast a spell upon us. He thrives on lies and deceit, and wishes to see our kingdom fall into chaos and mistrust." Verity knew she had to act quickly to save her kingdom. She decided to seek out Mendax and ask him to lift the spell. With a brave heart, she set off on her journey, accompanied by her loyal friend, a wise old owl named Sage. They traveled through dense forests, crossed swift rivers, and climbed steep mountains. Along the way, Verity's kindness and courage won her many friends. She helped a lost fox find its way home, shared her food with a hungry wolf, and sang to the birds, making their songs even sweeter. Finally, they reached Mendax's dark and twisted tower, hidden in the depths of a shadowy forest. Verity knocked on the heavy wooden door. With a loud creak, the door opened, and there stood Mendax, his eyes cold and filled with deceit. "Why have you come here, princess?" he sneered. "Do you not fear my power?" Verity took a deep breath and replied, "Sorcerer Mendax, I come not to fight but to seek your help. The river in my kingdom is turning murky, and the plants are wilting because of your spell. Please, lift the curse and let our land thrive once more." Mendax was taken aback by her courage and sincerity. No one had ever approached him with such honesty. "Why should I help you?" he asked, curious. "Because," Verity said gently, "truth and clarity bring peace and harmony to the world. There is more strength in honesty than in deception." Mendax pondered her words. He had lived alone in his dark tower for many years, filled with bitterness. Verity's words touched something deep inside him, a longing for truth and trust he had forgotten. "Very well," Mendax said slowly. "I will lift the spell, but on one condition. You must promise to visit me once a year and share the truths and stories of your kingdom with me." Verity smiled warmly. "I promise, Mendax." With a wave of his hand, Mendax lifted the dark spell from the river and the plants. Instantly, the waters in Veritas began to clear, and the plants stood tall and vibrant once more. Verity returned to her kingdom a hero. The people of Veritas rejoiced, and the land flourished like never before. True to her word, Verity visited Mendax every year, bringing truth and stories to his once dark tower. Over time, Mendax's heart softened, and he became a friend to the kingdom. And so, the Princess of Truth brought not only clarity to her land, but also taught everyone that even in a world filled with deception, a little honesty and understanding can bring peace and harmony. And they all lived happily ever after. In a realm where the ocean met the sky in a seamless horizon of blue, there was a magical underwater kingdom called Aquatica. This kingdom lay hidden beneath the waves, where shimmering coral reefs and schools of colorful fish made their home. The people of Aquatica, known as the merfolk, lived in harmony with the sea, their hearts as pure as the waters that surrounded them. At the heart of this enchanting world stood a grand palace made of seashells and coral, glowing with an iridescent light. This was where King Neptune and Queen Marina ruled with wisdom and grace. Their greatest joy was their daughter, Princess Serena, known far and wide as the Princess of Pearl. Princess Serena had a special gift. From the day she was born, she had a unique connection with the pearls of the sea. She could call them forth from oysters with a gentle touch, and their luster would shine even brighter in her presence. Serena had long, flowing hair that shimmered like the waves, and her eyes sparkled like the most precious pearls. Her laughter was like the sound of gentle waves lapping against the shore, bringing peace and happiness to all who heard it. One day, as Serena was exploring the coral gardens near the palace, she noticed something troubling. The pearls in the oysters were losing their luster, turning dull and gray. Serena's heart ached at the sight. She gently touched one of the oysters and asked, "Dear oyster, what troubles you?" The oyster sighed and whispered, "Princess Serena, a dark sorcerer named Abyssus has cast a spell upon us. He is envious of the beauty and purity we bring to Aquatica and wishes to see our pearls lose their shine forever." Serena knew she had to act quickly to save the pearls and her beloved kingdom. She decided to seek out Abyssus and ask him to lift the spell. With a brave heart, she set off on her journey, accompanied by her loyal friend, a wise old sea turtle named Tiberius. They traveled through vibrant coral reefs, crossed vast underwater plains, and ventured into deep, mysterious trenches. Along the way, Serena's kindness and courage won her many friends. She helped a pod of dolphins find their way back to their home, shared her food with a lonely seahorse, and sang to the anemones, making them sway in even more colorful patterns. Finally, they reached Abyssus's dark and foreboding lair, hidden in the deepest part of the ocean. Serena knocked on the heavy coral-encrusted door. With a loud creak, the door opened, and there stood Abyssus, his eyes cold and filled with envy. "Why have you come here, princess?" he sneered. "Do you not fear my power?" Serena took a deep breath and replied, "Sorcerer Abyssus, I come not to fight but to seek your help. The pearls in my kingdom are losing their luster because of your spell. Please, lift the curse and let our pearls shine once more." Abyssus was taken aback by her courage and sincerity. No one had ever approached him with such kindness. "Why should I help you?" he asked, curious. "Because," Serena said gently, "the beauty of the sea brings joy and peace to the world. There is more fulfillment in creating beauty than in causing sorrow." Abyssus pondered her words. He had lived alone in his dark lair for many years, filled with bitterness. Serena's words touched something deep inside him, a longing for beauty and companionship he had forgotten. "Very well," Abyssus said slowly. "I will lift the spell, but on one condition. You must promise to visit me once a year and share the beauty and stories of your kingdom with me." Serena smiled warmly. "I promise, Abyssus." With a wave of his hand, Abyssus lifted the dark spell from the pearls. Instantly, the pearls in Aquatica began to regain their luster, shining brightly once more. Serena returned to her kingdom a hero. The merfolk rejoiced, and the pearls in the oysters shone with a brilliance never seen before. True to her word, Serena visited Abyssus every year, bringing beauty and stories to his once dark lair. Over time, Abyssus's heart softened, and he became a friend to the kingdom. And so, the Princess of Pearl brought not only beauty to her land, but also taught everyone that even in the deepest darkness, a little kindness and understanding can bring light and joy. And they all lived happily ever after.